Hey guys, what's going on? Today is May 27th of 2022. It is the day of the release of the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show. I'm sure that a majority of you all actually got to see chapters 1 and 2 of the Kenobi series that debuted all together, and we have 4 remaining chapters, just to let you guys know in case you have been a little unaware about that. Throughout the entirety of the month of June, it's going to be all geared toward the Kenobi TV series. Now today, we will be going into things that you didn't know and things that you missed for the Kenobi series that's going to be supported by Deborah Chow and writer Joby Harold, and exactly what they had to say about chapters 1 and 2. So keep in mind that we will be going into spoilers. This does go into a lot of plot elements of chapters 1 and 2. So if you guys have not seen the Kenobi series just yet, you guys may want to back out of this video right now. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, before we get on to the main stuff, I just gotta say one thing here right now, is that one thing that we do know about the Kenobi series is that it's a mixture of what Deborah Chow actually created with Joby Harold, what John and Dave Filoni actually called the shots on a little bit, as well as very minor elements from the original scripts of the Kenobi movie and even the original scripts of the Kenobi series before it was rewritten. That was all supervised by Kathleen Kennedy. Some of that actually got into the actual finalized version of the series, and you can see elements or trends of what Kathleen Kennedy would normally do in that. But moving on from all of this, alright, one thing I gotta say about chapters 1 and 2 is that there were quite a number of moments that were very unexpected. I want to go into what Deborah Chow and Joby Harold had to say, and how this lends right into the subject of things that we all missed and things that we did not know about the Kenobi TV series. So, with that being said, however, with many new Star Wars TV shows in the works under Disney and Lucasfilm, the creators for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series have already been discussing a Season 2 already for this Star Wars fandom. Now, since the release of both chapters 1 and 2, those associated with Lucasfilm went on to reveal some revelations about the series, such as director Deborah Chow and writer Joby Harold. Joby Harold went on to reveal and state, if you watch episode 2, we had to carefully make our decisions on this episode with the introduction of Darth Vader in his bacta tank. We actually used one of the same set pieces that was used for Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. I remember Deborah Chow approaching me and telling me that we need to change the design of Vader in the bacta tank. We need to make him appear more deformed in the series. That's how he appeared in Rogue One for a split second. We wanted to focus on the ears. You see, Anakin Skywalker obtained severe burn injuries, and we wanted to show fans the progression of his healing. Myself and Deborah Chow discussed this on how we can make Vader appear as if his face almost has a melted texture or effect to it, to really show fans the pain that he goes through in the bacta tank. Now let me just stop right here for 1 second of what Joby's saying about chapter 2 of the Kenobi series. If you guys look very close at Vader at the very end of the series, if you look at his ears like Joby brings up, you will see that I believe it's his left ear, it might be his right, I can't quite remember, I think it is the left ear though. The lobe is actually fused to the mandible, almost. That's what it looks like. And you can see, given that this is earlier than Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, that his injuries are still slowly healing. And that's what they focused on. The fact that they also used a lot of set pieces from Rogue One: A Star Wars Story is also something of a big surprise. You know, nothing that, of course, a lot of fans have really expected to actually be inserted into the Kenobi series. Moving on. So he goes on to say that we actually filled this tank up with water and placed Hayden inside the tank, hooking him up to real hoses, believe it or not. We had Hayden hold his breath in the scene, which I was shocked to see how he could actually hold up to a good minute or so. Other shots that we did were with the tank empty and using a digital effect. We ended up fusing those effects together for the fans to see. Deborah Chow eventually said, aside from what Joby did, that when Reva is searching for Kenobi on Daiyu, We took this straight from Return of the Jedi when Vader is speaking to Luke about his twin sister Leia, where Luke is hiding in the shadows where the big reveal comes to Vader. We wanted to do the same exact thing with Kenobi, where Reva is doing this to Kenobi, revealing of how Anakin lives and how Kenobi deals with all of that. Additionally, Deborah Chow got on the subject of the first episode of Kenobi, revealing when we were filming Chapter 1, we looked at other films and how we could use that in the series. When I first decided to insert Leia into the show with Joby Harold, we wanted to take core elements from Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman movies, on, of course, her mother and her daughter and her life as a child on Alderaan. It was always our intention to really make Alderaan this place that is deeply inspired from the Wonder Woman films and the Amazonians, to an extent, since I am just such a fan of all of that. Also on Tatooine, we made sure that we wanted to give Kenobi a job to better explain how he survives. I had so many unapproved concepts from George Lucas from over 30 years ago that never made it to Legends, that we used for Kenobi scenes in the show, such as his work life and home life, and what that would be like on the world of Tatooine. Now, let me just stop right here of what Deborah Chow had to say. Now, between everything of what Joby and Deborah unveiled, between, of course, how essentially the concept of the dynamic between Leia and her mother, alright, on Alderaan, and how that was taken directly from the Wonder Woman films, I see that right now. You can see exactly how that's being used and applied into the Kenobi series. But the thing that really gets me is how Deborah Chow unveiled that for Chapter 1, alright, everything revolving around Kenobi's home life and his work life. Basically, you guys may or may not have noticed this, but in Episode 1, obviously, Kenobi is essentially, at the end of the day, trying as hard to live up to forgetting about the past. He's trying very hard, he has those nightmares. And another thing that Deborah Chow really wanted to really do with that is to take those core elements from many of the unapproved concepts from Legends. So when we look at Deborah Chow and Joby Harold and what they had to say here about Vader, what they had to say about Reva and the world of Daiyu, I think that the most interesting thing that Joby and Deborah brought up with Chapter 2 is how the whole concept of redoing Return of the Jedi, right? We have that moment where Kenobi's hiding in the shadows. He's hiding from Reva, and Reva informs Kenobi that Vader, aka Anakin, lives. Anakin Skywalker lives. This is where Kenobi gets shocked, and you can see how it's the same effect of Luke Skywalker getting shocked when Vader unveils to Luke that he knows that Leia is his sister, when he's able to feel his feelings. So you can see, obviously, of how Deborah Chow took that from that, and how Joby took that from that as well, and what they were able to say about all of this in Chapter 2. Now, the other thing is that, they also were able to unveil that Daiyu is deeply inspired from Narshada. I don't know if you guys know about Narshada, but it is a very neon-lit world, or a city, if you will, I should say, and Daiyu is deeply inspired from that. At the end of the day, I think that they should have just took elements, or took the actual city and placed it into the Star Wars canon right then and there, but I digress. The thing about the Kenobi series, guys, one thing I will say, there's a lot of great points in Chapters 1 and 2, but I do find the character of Reva a little over the top. I will be honest with you guys, I find her to be over the top, and I think that they just had to snip it down the Leia scenes quite a bit here and there. But other than that, I'm enjoying the show so far. I just think that there's some flaws here and there, but nothing too major. Chapter 3, 4, 5, and 6 are really going to pick up big time with the show. So overall, guys, let me know what you guys have to say about all of this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.